Hey folks, so this is the Jonway YY 300. Now I've been online looking for video reviews of this bike, and frankly there aren't any. I haven't seen any review of this bike yet. This is the 2023 model 402. It's a 400cc V-twin, liquid cooled. And I just thought, hey, why don't I do a review for the internet today so that people can see what this bike is all about. Give it a start. Kind of sounds okay. I like how it sounds. So yeah, the bike sounds good, and let's get into the looks, eh? Well, first I'll go with the design. I like the design. It's a cruiser design. Looks more like a bobber with LED lights right around. That's quite clever. I mean, it just all works together the way they put the bike in. Looking at the wheels, it's got a 16 in front. That's a 120/80 by 16, and a 150/80 by 15 in the back. They're quite chunky, big enough. The wheels are aluminum. They look great as well. The boxes, as you can see, I mean in the video when it was just when I was running the bike and you were listening to the exhaust, one of the box straps got caught on the gate and it almost ripped off the bike. So I realized then that it's not a leather bag. It's some material that looks like leather. They could have done better by putting leather
on
bags,
the road.
but I guess yeah, they had to save the money somewhere. It's got a CC bar, quite nice. Will be good for your pillion when you've got one. So now I'm just about to get on the bike and ride, see if I enjoy the ride. So yeah, getting on the bike and riding. Sitting position, it feels quite comfortable, eh? I'm 1.94 meters tall and I've got long legs. But sitting on this bike, I feel quite comfortable. I'm easy to reach the brakes, easy to get the changes, the gears changed. It's quite comfortable. The wide handlebars make for good control of the bike, regardless of what speed you're riding on. Slow, fast, medium, you just have good control of the bike. The mirrors, yeah, inverted mirrors are quite interesting to use. You have to get used to them. I mean, right now, as you can see, they're almost hidden under my gloves there. But from my eye level, I've got a clear view of the left one. The right one is a bit finicky. But yeah, once you get used to them, they're not a problem. It's quite nice to have the mirrors down low. When you're splitting through traffic, it's less likely that you will get the mirror stuck on somebody else's wing mirror as well. But yeah, it's a good thing there. You would notice when I was taking off there onto this road that I was clutchless shifting the whole way. That's the gearbox. It's got a lovely gearbox, this bike. Gears are smooth and they just go in up and down without a problem. Neutral, that's a bit of a challenge. You have to get used to it. Usually I roll the bike into neutral. Yeah. Throttle response quite well. I mean, you can tell there's a lot of power between 2000 RPMs to around 6000 RPMs. It just chugs, it just pulls. It's got no problem there in any gear. I mean, you could be in 6th gear at 60 kph. You just twist the throttle and the bike just accelerates through that speed range. It's got no problems pulling. I mean, 0 to 100, I'm not so sure about the time, but it's around 6 seconds, which is not too bad. I mean, for a 400cc. but it's got power. You can pull in any gear from 30 to 100 without any problems in a short space of time. So that's the engine response and throttle. Brakes, they're quite good. It's got ABS front and rear. It's got disc brakes front and rear, and it's got good feel. You hold the brake slightly, it's you can feel the bike slow down. But if you want to slow down quicker, you're gonna have to really pull hard on the brakes, both on the foot lever and the hand lever. If you want more brakes, you pull hard. If it's quite a hard braking situation there. Cruising speed, I keep it around 100 to 120. It feels super comfortable at 100. I could go anywhere, ride it forever at 100 km per hour without any problems, without any strain on the engine or any working parts. So I'd say this is not something you want to be riding up to 160. Keep it at 100, 110, 120. You're okay. You enjoy the bike for a lot longer. So yeah, it's quite a comfortable bike to be riding. Control, it's quite nimble, quite flickable, well balanced. You'll see from this that it's it just feels planted on the road, like it's not gonna slip or anything. It's just that well balanced as far as the suspension and control and how nimble the bike is concerned. Wind buffeting. As you can see, there's no screen in front of me, so yeah, it's gonna get windy. And from 100 k's going up, you're gonna feel the wind on your chest. You're gonna feel it on the head. It probably would do better with a nice touring screen in front. I'm still considering getting one and putting it on for good measure to see if that wind buffeting will be better. But that's for the later stage. For now, I'm just happy as it is. I'm not trying to break any speed records or anything. So yeah, for now, we're just keeping it down low so that we get to the 1,000 kilometer first service. It's just done about 300 k's now, and yeah, we're going to the 1,000 kilometer mark, which should be about 7 days from now, judging by my riding habits and where I've been going and I will be going next week. So I think next weekend we should be doing the 1,000 k service, and yeah, we'll talk more after that. I think that's when I'll get my next video out as well. Spares for this bike, for now all spares are coming in from my supplier. Got it from Howard Gin in Harare, and they've got a container of parts that's coming in, and I'd given them a list of spares that I think this bike will need in the first 5 to 10,000 k's, and they saved those parts on the container, so I'm not worried about parts I'm gonna get from the supplier. So yeah, that's about the Jonway. I'm enjoying the bike so far. I've rode it on this road I think about 6 times now. It's about a 50k stretch from work to home using this road, and so far I've quite enjoyed it. I haven't had any problems. Comfort wise, everything is just a good bike. I've ridden with a pillion probably in traffic. The bike doesn't feel the weight of the pillion. Like I said earlier, between 2 and 6,000 RPMs, it's just got so much torque. It just pulls through. So even if you've got a pillion from 0 to 100 k's per hour, it's almost got the same amount of pulling power to get the speed up. So even with the pillion, I haven't felt any weakness on this bike. I do feel, however, that they geared down this bike a little too much. I think I would have preferred to have this bike with smaller final drive ratio. That would probably reduce the torque a little bit on the tire, but it would reduce also the RPMs at certain speeds. And yeah, I feel that's the way to go. That's another mod that I'm definitely going to look into. Get smaller gears, especially the smaller final gear. That should get me cruising at lower RPMs, because the torque is there. The engine is just torquey, and the torque is so low down the rev range. You can't use much of it when you're cruising. You use it on takeoff and in the short town drives. So it works when you're not going to be doing high speed rounds quite often. but to use that torque better for me, given that I ride on a highway every day, I would want to gear down a little bit on the rear gear, just to give me a little bit more torque that's usable at 100 to 120 k's per hour. But yeah, so thank you so much folks for being with me and watching this video. I will be doing another video shortly, and yeah, for measure I think it took me about 6 minutes to get from Maruta to H, which is just about here. No, it's quite fast, and yeah, I think I had minimum gear changes along the way, only when I was going through traffic, which wasn't really necessary, but I did it for good measure. So yeah, until we meet next time, adios.